Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. I'm Momo Ina, and in 2024 I moved from Germany to Nepal to be with my partner. Around these parts we embrace the chaos of daily life, find grace in all the twists and turns, of which Kathmandu has plenty. Come along with me as I celebrate the mundane, the small, and the unexpected moments in life.
잠시 멈춰서 너와 내 가난 눈 흘러 이젠 여기까지 Feels think about the way we just fly Thinking about the way we I just wanna think about you all day.
Open my eyes, I slept through the day, feeling uneasy, I push it away. Last night was fun, don't feel like today. Let's do it again, let's go on a date. Cause tonight I'm gonna take you out and live the dream that we've been talking about. So we can dine and spend up all on those. Forget that we broke. I wanna celebrate and have some fun tonight. I wanna show you all the lavish things in life. So raise a toast for all the good times that we'll have. It'll be like the movies, be like the movies. Rich people dreaming. 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 Rich people dreaming.
Today, I wanted to eat a croissant.
Small pot. Sa ano?
This is pepper, I think.
Some pig pot.
दोषी सजाउनु मिल्छ त्यहाँसम्म मिल्छ आजहरू त्यो सबै आइस कति चाहिँ हाइट हो त्यो चाहिँ मलाई मन
त्यसबाट बेस त चर्को जान्छ
चेरको बेस
Light falls on quiet sand. You almost leaned in. Shadows move, skin to skin. Something unspoken. Will you let me in? You and I will always have that one night. Come morning light, we'll always have that sunrise.
Those seasons change. Was then, now, forever.
My life, it's potato. Always potatoes. I dream of potatoes. I have potato blood in my veins.
potato pie on a flimsy paper plate. Baby, I don't think it gets much better. There isn't much to keep. We lay down and fall asleep till the morning comes around to find love. I still keep me little memories, the ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistakes. I was hoping that you might wanna talk to me. Card table outside, still sitting there. It's been so long, barely holds together. One day I'll not call if you were there at all. Maybe it was something like a dream. There isn't much to keep. Tonight I hope I fall asleep till the morning comes around to find I still keep with me these little memories. The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistakes, but I was hoping that you might wanna talk.
Why are you running?
Here calling my name. Life won't be the same, 'cause she's worth more than all the gold in Mississippi. So I'm leaving now. Don't know if I'll come back around. I'm leaving now. I'm leaving now.
Back in that bag again, don't bring me around your friend. I hit it once, I'ma hit it again. She with me, you know she a 10. She a Barbie, you know I'm a Ken. Rolling some dope, and sipping some gin. It's always been us, it never was them. Back in my bag, they know it's a gem.
Tell them to watch it, now I ain't talking my pockets. Just know we ain't running out the way that we stock it. If I got it, you got it. If I call it, she slide and tell her to mop it. Yeah, I got that on. Then she took that thing off and bring it around. Going at it till I'm on. Put that 90 in a hole, I'm beating it down. I'm back in that bag again. Whoa, whoa, oh say less. I'm back in that bag again. Yeah, yeah. Oh say less. I'm back in that. Yeah. What you doing? Yeah, yeah. I'm back in that. Hey, where you going? Hey.